What's up guys, Garrett with Selftaughtdev. We are back doing some more resume reviews for you. I'm trying to upgrade the camera. I got an A6300. I know I need to mess with the settings more because the lighting's pretty bad. I also need to invest in a new light to go like right behind the camera because the shadows are just kind of like messed up. But anyway, we're doing some more resume reviews. Y'all keep sending them in, so I'm gonna keep doing them. A lot of them I don't have feedback for, so if I don't get to your resume, just assume that it looks good to me and I don't have any feedback for you. I'm trying to do ones where I can give feedback that'll apply like generally to all resumes. But if I don't get to yours, just assume it's good. Before we get started, if you want to get my resume template, this is the resume I used before I had my first job as a dev. So it's just my projects. I don't have any work experience on there. Look in the description. I will have a way for you to get that. And if you want to send me your resume to get some feedback, my email is in the description as well. So feel free to email it to me as well. All right, so let's do this. First one we got up here. It looks like it's pretty decent. First off, we've got 2 pages. We do want to keep it on kind of on one page, especially if we've only got one work experience here and it's not super long. If you've been working for like 5, 10, 20 years, you've got a lot of experience, then it's kind of acceptable to have multiple pages if you're going for a more senior level job. But if you're going for like an entry level job, whoever's looking at your resume is going to be looking at hundreds per day. So you want to highlight the key points and just like make it easy for them to see why they want to call you in for an interview, because that's what your resume is for. You want to get them to call you in for an interview. So I know you're not in the US, but this is not proper English. So you would say you would say I am a node.js developer. I don't know if you need like .js. I'm not sure how the grammar works on that, but I'm sure node.js is fine. With a, you don't need a there. With 3 years, you need a space there. 3 years of coding experience. Experienced with all stages of the development cycle for well-versed, blah, blah, blah. Strong background with IT, with the ability to work with a team, multitasking. So I'm sure there's some other grammatical stuff in there. I'm not like an expert on grammar, even though I speak English and I was born and raised like speaking English. I'm not great with the grammar, but whatever. I can do code, so that's what matters, right? Skill highlights, that's good. I'd probably break this out into 3 columns. So you have like some over here, some in the middle, and then some over here. That'll just help shorten the page a little bit because we want to break this down to where it's just all in one page, like I said. Key achievements, that it's kind of indented weird. I'd probably back that up over here. Internship, I'd probably reverse these. I think who you're working for is more important than like the date range and your position title. So I'd probably put the position there. I don't think, since you've only got one job and it says the location right here, I don't know if that's necessary either. Fix problems with equipment such as computers and printers with effective troubleshooting and mechanical repair abilities. Also, when I review resumes, I'm assuming you're trying to go for a web developer job. So that's kind of the lens I'm looking at this through. So if you want to be something else, let me know in the email. He might have done that in the email. I didn't look, but we're just going to assume he wants to be a web developer because he's got web development, web design here. So those don't need to be taken off. But okay, so I just checked and he wants to be a junior full stack developer. Are you currently a junior full stack developer or are you trying to become one? Because if you are currently one, put that job here. Also, you need, so these should be like your technical skills, right? So like, what languages do you work with? Do you know like .NET, Python, Angular, Vue, React, C#, C-? Those should be like your technical skills, because these are just kind of like buzzwords that don't really matter. They do kind of matter for recruiters and like algorithms that look at your resume, and that's why I've changed my mind on this part here. I used to not have one, but I'm probably going to add one because that is a good way to put keywords on your resume that the bots scan for when recruiters are looking for resumes. So also I might bold the words here like HTML, CSS, SCSS, JS. Yeah, I might bold those just like when somebody looks at the resume, those pop out more. And then finally, something else you could do to kind of shrink this down is like subtract 1 from the font size. It looks like it's probably like 20 right now. I'd make it like 18 or 17 or maybe even 16. Because again, we're trying to fit this all in one page since you haven't had a like full stack job before. These can all go on that first blue section. So like put like a little LinkedIn link here, put a little GitHub link here. Also your portfolio, this part didn't work. I couldn't click on it. I could click on your email, but I couldn't click on that. So put LinkedIn and GitHub here. And then your portfolio is already linked up on this first part here. I'd probably change website to the actual URL. So put that right here so they can copy and paste it if they need to, if the link doesn't work like what happened to me. And then certifications, I'd probably link those up. If you actually got a certificate, link those up. I don't know what Pripple is. Is that like separate from Udemy? Because if it is, I would probably keep Udemy together and then put Pripple at the bottom or at the top. So they're kind of like organized a little bit. Programming languages, see, that can be removed. That should be in the skills section here. And then projects, I'd probably put this up higher. I'd probably put that above education, because information, communication tech, yeah, these would have more weight than your education, because this is like stuff you've actually built. This is like the proof you know what you're doing. And then also the spacing here is kind of weird. Check the spacing, because you want the spacing between these sections to be consistent as well. Now let's check out your portfolio real quick too. So your portfolio could use some work. I don't know if you said you're finished with it or still working on it. The design could use some work for sure. Because depending on where you're applying, if you're applying anywhere that has an HR department, generally the tech people aren't going to be the first one to see your portfolio. That was really weird that I had to wait that long for those animations to trigger, or that they re-triggered. But yeah, generally HR is going to be seeing your resume, or a recruiter, and as much as we want them to, they don't know tech stuff that well. They might know like super basic stuff, but the design is going to influence their decision a lot. It doesn't matter if you've got like some app you've built that can predict the next big breakout stock. If it's written in just HTML, there's no stylings for it, they're probably not going to care, because they're not going to look at it long enough to know what it is. So you definitely got to work on the design a little bit here. If I click on read more, this kind of looks weird. I'm assuming this, like when I see this, I'm assuming you're still working on your portfolio. And then when I hit back, it does this weird thing where it's over on the side and then slides in. Also, the color contrast on these, I don't think those are compliant. So you might need to make this text lighter. The projects, yeah, we just got to work on the design a little bit on this. And then you need like a form on the bottom so they can easily contact you, and then your contact information down there too. Also, it's on Heroku, so I don't know if this is in React or what. Heroku doesn't keep your app spun up, so if it is in React or something like that, I'd put it on Netlify, because Netlify generates the static files and then keeps those public. Versus Heroku will just spin it up every time. So like the first time I went to this, I had to wait 30 seconds for it to load for Heroku to spin it up. So if this is like React or some framework, I'd put it on Netlify, because Netlify will keep it easily accessible. Also, the animation's kind of cool. And then it's not responsive either, but like I said, I'm assuming you're working on it. So also the time it takes for that to animate is like, But yeah, hope that helps out. Good luck with the job search. Let me know if you need anything else, bud. All right, next one here is for Paul. It's just his portfolio. I like the little logo thing. That's the same thing I'm using for like the Discord or like my site's logo. Speaking of my site, if you want practice projects for front-end developers, I've got this little library of practice projects. I've got a lot more that I need to upload, but feel free to check out selftaught-dev.com and you can download a few practice projects like the Pokedex or a JavaScript clock or memory game or Flubel's homepage. Just stuff to practice with. Anyway, yeah, I like the design of this. Right off the bat, it looks really cool. This button, it's got like a box shadow. I can't see it very well on this screen because my colors on this monitor are weird for some reason. But when you hover over it, it'd be really cool if you changed the drop shadow to 0. So it looks like with the shadow, you've got the effect where it's like one layer and then the button's hovering above it. And if you drop that shadow to 0, when you hover over it, it'll look like the button's getting pressed down into the page. So it's like you're pressing down on the button kind of, and it just makes it like a really cool effect. Because like when you click, it's got the outline. But yeah, that'd just be a really cool effect to have. Right off the bat, first impressions, it looks really good. I like the font on that too. So if we click on something, it slides down, so it's got the nice slide instead of just like jumping. That's not quite as nice. The fonts on this kind of, just to me, like design-wise, I'm not a big fan of. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just off-centered or something like that, but that's just a little design thing, I think. But I do like that you have your certifications linked up here. That's really cool. Let's Work Together brings you down here. I'd probably implement some kind of form, because I was watching a course on Front-End Masters on like getting your first web developer job. He talks about how it's important to have a form on your site, because you want them to be able to contact you as easily as possible. You don't want them to have to go to LinkedIn to send you a message or open up Gmail, because one of their coworkers might talk to them and be like, hey, what's up, Johnny? blah, 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 blah. And then when they come back, they're like, right, where was I? Right, reviewing resumes, and they'll just close yours out and then move on to the next one. So you want to make it easy as possible for them to contact you. So I'd implement like a little form designed by me. I'd probably change that to your name. I do like your little pop-up links here. That's cool. And then I love that this gives you your email too, because like if I click on this, I don't have a default email signed in. I'm probably never going to. So if that wasn't there and I didn't know tech stuff, I couldn't email you. These are pretty cool. Projects are pretty dope, except for this one. I think this has been suspended for malicious things for 72 hours. I noticed that last night, so maybe it'll be fixed soon. But it's suspended for now, so just know that project doesn't really work. It's still cool though that you built that, because I'm assuming it works, because all these other ones work. Like if we go to tech jobs, like this one's like pulling in from GitHub's job API. Let's try like React developer, and it pulls in some stuff that I'm assuming matches React developer somehow. None of these say React in the job title, so I don't know how these match exactly, but whatever. And then IP Finder, you got some cool projects, so those are good. And then you can see more on GitHub. I'd probably include, okay, yeah, you did. So you got view project and then view code. And then if we go to here, looks like you're just getting started. Just make sure you keep those green marks coming, even if it's just like adjusting the README. If it's like the end of the day and you're like, crap, I haven't committed anything to GitHub yet, just go like adjust the README, give like a description of what the project is, something easy. But just make sure you get those going. And then is it responsive? It is responsive. You got the nice little hamburger menu that pops out here. I like that little animation. Let's Talk brings you down to there. Overall, really good portfolio. I think you do need yeah, you got skills here. So, and you've got a little about me. Yeah, pretty good portfolio. All right, so next one here, I had to shrink my box a little bit because it was getting in the way. I hope I didn't cover anything up when I was shooting earlier. But anyway, first off, I don't know who you are. There's no name, there's no contact information, there's no link to your portfolio or anything like that. I don't know if you just took that off because you were sending it to me, but make sure that's on there, because that's kind of a big reason they are not getting in contact with you. So they don't have any contact information on here. Profile, highly motivated, independent, hardworking. Those are just buzzwords. Those don't really mean anything. You said you want to be some kind of like a junior developer. First off, don't go for junior developer roles. Go for like full-on developer roles. Junior is just something they use to pay you less. So go for like full-on developer roles. If you feel like you're remotely qualified, go ahead and send in your resume. If you're not, they won't call you. But what's the worst that can happen? You get a job interview and get a job, or you don't get a call back. Anyway, yeah, those are buzzwords. You need to stick some keywords in here. Like, what do you want to work with? Like, or what are you doing right now? Like, I'm building X project using ABC skills and yada, yada, yada. You got to stick some of the skills and what you want to do in here. Like you're trying to become a full stack developer or a front end developer or a Discord bot developer. And then down here, like organization, time management skills. Those are just like more buzzwords. So we got to work on that a little bit. Areas of expertise, I would just change that to skills, because like, are you an expert in all of this? Like if I call you in, can you answer every question I'm going to ask you about Python or SQL or Oracle? If you can, and you like truly are an expert on that, you should have a job. If not, change that to skills. And then also I break these out into multiple columns so this doesn't take up 2 pages. Because like I said before, we want to make sure this is on 1 page if we can help it. Work experience. So this part right here, I don't think that's proper English. I would say like booked in goods, arriving at the lens, blah, blah, blah. Assisted with any stock requires, coordinated. Like I'd add ED on the end of those and just remove 2, because starting off with 2, I don't think that's proper English. But these aren't like super relevant to having experience as a developer. So I would put your projects, if you have projects. Do you not have projects? You need to build some projects because it doesn't look like you have any. So another plug for selftaught-dev.com. Go check out that place. You can get some good practice projects to build. Selftaught-dev.com, it's in the description. But yeah, you do need some projects on here, because otherwise they'll just look at it and be like, all right, you say you know these skills, you don't have any business computing. So that's business computing. So I'm assuming that's like Microsoft Word and stuff probably. But to me, I'm not seeing anything that's like, hey, I have certifications in this, or these are stuff I've built that proves that I know what I'm doing. All I see is you claiming you know you're an expert in this stuff. So you need some projects on there. I'd probably put those right below skills because it doesn't look like the work experience is super related to being a software developer. Also, the job experience here, if there's any kind of statistical information you can put in there, like update the computerized inventory records and improved blah, blah, blah by 20% or 25%, or I was the most efficient worker as explained by X, Y, and Z statistic. Anything like that you can stick in there is going to be awesome. You don't really need the experience down here because that's from a long time ago and that stuff's not really relevant to being a developer. I'd probably just include these right here, and then I'd probably take out a few of these bullet points as well to kind of shorten that more, because like I said, we want to try to keep this on one page if we can. And then education, I don't know if you really need what classes you've done. I don't know if that's common where you live. Keep it on there. I'm in the US and I don't have much experience with resumes outside of the US, so that might be something that's common, like having your picture on your resume. I know that's pretty common in the EU, but in the US, probably not something you want on there. Towers, so is that like, see, these certifications are from 8 years ago. I don't know if those are super relevant anymore. And then this is, if this is like the equivalent, so like up until you're 18 in the US, you go to like elementary school and then middle school and then high school. And that's just like general education that everybody goes to. So if this is just like general stuff that everybody goes to, I would not put that on there because that's kind of like expected that you've done. But yeah, biggest thing, make sure you get some projects on there. Try to get this onto one page, put your contact information because that's going to prevent people from being able to contact you. And make a portfolio too, because I mean, you gotta just show off what you've done. That's what's gonna get the people to say, okay, he knows what he's doing. I trust this guy. I think I can bring him onto my team and he can contribute. All right, last one here is Joseph. First impressions, it looks kind of dope. Let's refresh. Okay, cool. No animations, but it looks dope. Like starting off, it'd be cool if you could animate this line so it like starts off in the center and goes out to the side, or even if it just goes from like left to right, that'd be cool too. You got some cool little animations on those. That animates, sweet, I like it. You said you did the Team Treehouse tech degree. I'd give it this button in an animation. Like you would click on it and it does something, but I think that's just like the default animation. I'd probably Google like CSS button stylings and try and figure out something cool to do with those. These projects, can we open this and view it? Okay, they're just videos, gotcha. Oh, demo, there we go. So you kind of made it your own, that's awesome. The color contrast there, that's not compliant. So I would make that like white or something. If you just Google like CSS color compliance checker, this can make sure your colors are like WCAG compliant. It's just something with like readability, and you just need to make sure your site is compliant with that for accessibility reasons. And plus, when people look at your portfolio, if your portfolio is not compliant and like up to standard, they're gonna assume you don't know about that stuff. So make sure you got that stuff down. I know my portfolio is probably not, so I need to update mine. And then you got this with the, and you can close that notification, that's awesome. So it looks like you got the basic Team Treehouse projects on there. Those all look pretty good. Design and development, why does that happen? It's kind of interesting. And plus, also, why does that push the content down? Can you get rid of that? I know why it's doing that, but can you figure it out and get rid of that? You don't have to get rid of the whole like bottom border, but get rid of the fact that it's moving the content, because that's something a lot of new developers have an issue with, and you need to be able to not have that issue. Responsive design, contact me. I'd probably put a skills section on here too, because I think they had, I don't know if I'm pretty sure they teach you Sass in that front-end tech degree. Just put like everything they've taught you in there. I'm pretty sure they had like an SQL project maybe, I don't know. But list out your skills, because that helps a lot. That helps and that's cool. If you've got a resume, link that up on here as well. And then again, trying to add a form here. If you can figure that out, that'd be great, because that makes it easier for people to contact you. And then same thing with the blue border here. Is this responsive? It is responsive. Look at that. Got the hamburger menu and everything. I'd probably turn off that hover, that click effect. Oh, okay, if you got your skills right there, that's cool. And then those open up in a new tab, that's good. Sweet. We're gonna connect on here and be friends. But overall, pretty good. Just gotta work on the animations and make it more like mind-blowing a little bit. and then fix that part where it's pushing the content down too. But sweet, hope this helped you guys out. Again, if you need any practice projects, check out selftaught-dev.com. I'm gonna be adding more and updating that. If you need to come hop in the Discord, there's a link to the Discord in the description. You can talk to me and other aspiring developers or other developers and get some feedback on your portfolios, resumes, get any questions answered, anything like that. If you want me to check out your resume, send it in. Like I said in the beginning, my email's in the description. Give me a thumbs up if you thought this was helpful at all, and I will continue to do these. And I think that's about it. So I will see you next time. Peace.